Hey guys, welcome to our review of Kamen Rider Build episode 48. I'm your host, Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have...
the Cinder Blaze.
And Makotoa.
Boys, welcome back. On today's episode, well, we just got done watching Build 48 and none of us are crying. Yeah, this was an odd experience. I'm still processing it myself, but I think I'm a little disappointed, if I'm being honest. How about you guys?
I feel like this is to be expected, especially for these last few episodes of Build. It's kind of like shown that their finale isn't gonna be the best part of the series.
Right. Yeah.
This kind of cements it because the stakes are kind of all over the place. The power scaling is just so weird because this guy is summoning a black hole, but it's not really doing anything.
Okay, so I will defend that because that's just, that's weird on a visual level. If you don't see something impressive, or something easy for the audience to sort of grasp, then they're not really getting the weight. But something like a tiny little dot of a black hole, I don't know if you can make that, you'd be able to, get the audience caught up on the science of it all.
Just relative to what we've seen earlier, where he's had mini black holes suck up portions of Japan. Right. When he kind of gets this final mode, at least show something happening. Yeah.
Okay.
Comparative to what we've already seen in the series, I know we can't actually have a scientifically accurate black hole because that would just that would end the series straight up. But
yeah.
Just compared, in comparison to stuff that's already happened, just feels well, we just got to reach the 48 episode mark, and we have to make sure that all the side characters slowly get killed, so we can create some more emotion for the quote 48 episode. And now we're 49. Just kind of this 49th episode, yeah. I mean, it even applies for this episode to an extent, with the Banjo sacrifice at the end.
Yeah, it was touching. I don't know, those scenes are usually touching regardless, but something about it felt a bit cheap. They were sort of rushing him out the door to bring him back in.
I think it was just a little too quick.
Yeah.
Before we realized it, he was already gone.
Yeah, and the show didn't treat it with as I feel like I'm gonna treat it as much as the show with as much weight as the show does, and they were like, all right, we know this is touching, but go resolve.
Yeah, I feel like they're just hitting points with this, or hitting points for the sake of just hitting those beats. And prior to what happened before is just the plot just happened to hit those beats in a very natural way, and now it's just kind of really forced. These last few episodes are just kind of excessive because Evolve's plan was basically done by late 30s, so why are we just kind of still sucking around oh, he needed to figure out human emotion so we can get a power up. Yeah, thanks for mentioning it. It still doesn't really matter.
All things considered, when you've got to make the quota for how many episodes to stretch this, they've kept me well entertained the whole way through. They've kept me on board the whole way through and invested the whole way through with the characters. So it sucks that the impact of Gentoku's death wasn't as much as we were expecting it to be, with Grease. But I can't knock them when they've done so much up till this point.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but I don't want to compare it to Lupat's issues as a whole. It's just the episode this week, it was we were kind of upset because it had good elements and then they squandered it. And I'm by no means saying that Build has squandered it. It's just that for scenes that I feel like I should be feeling, for beats that I feel like I should be feeling, things that they've built up, things that they've culminated to, and for it to sort of just happen this way, it feels like we're just sort of shuffling on to the next episode. We're hitting these beats just because we have to. Like, they didn't want to spend the time to make them emotional, and I get it. It's just... I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like the climax of the series, honestly. It's just, we're just stuck in the resolution for like 10 episodes.
Yeah. But
Misora's face has held that same expression many episodes.
Yeah, she's been crying for like 10 episodes straight. I'm kind of like bored of it. I'm just be happy a little bit. Oh wait, the world's getting destroyed.
But
still,
honestly, like, I wasn't feeling it from them. Like, when Grease died, everyone was bawling. But then then when Gentoku went, they were like, oh no. Not him.
Gentoku literally took forever to die. He was like sparkling for the longest time. And it's like, okay, so is he dead? He's like, this is it, my final thing. And then he's like, he just stays around fucking another 5 minutes.
Grease took forever, but it was done in a more intimate way.
Yeah.
You know.
What? There are a few scenes that I kind of want to get you guys' opinion on. And it was like the you can do it, Kamen Rider, all that stuff. Because what this show to me feels like is like a deconstruction of what Kamen Rider is, and sort of bring in those elements, but and try to ground them. And this is the element of like the people of Japan supporting Kamen Rider, supporting justice, and doing that. And it came out of left field, as it should, as the trope suggests. And I feel like they tried to put some sort of plot relevant spin to it. Like, and then
it did not work for me at all.
It didn't.
Agreed.
To me, it didn't. Like, Evolt was like you had to get Evolt to explain it to us as it was happening. If they had just let it happen, I think I'd have been more fine with it.
No, like, honestly, that was never an issue in its entire series. So for them to be like, oh, Kamen Rider's just like, oh, I'm suddenly in a kid's show, and not just like, I mean, like, Kamen Rider is a kid's show, but it just felt like, you know, that was the thing that kind of happened. You know, we're no longer in Kamen Rider Build, we're in a Toku, you know, kids show, and I was just like, this feels weird. This doesn't feel like the show I've been watching for like the entire, you know, year. It just...
I feel like at the same time, they could try and explain it as, you know, this is, you know, we get our power from the people and their support of us. That could very well just be them kind of being delusional about it, and it just being like their own willpower pushing them on.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it'd be more powerful if they didn't explain it at all, and we just sort of let it happen.
Honestly, I would prefer it if they just didn't show up at all. Like, why are they even there? Like, it would make no sense considering how much of the fighting was happening in that area specifically, with all the freaking, like, fodder and riders just, like, blowing them up. You would have thought, like, those people would have evacuated a long time ago. Like, why are they just, like, suddenly here just for the, go, Kamen Riders? Like, I don't give a shit about any of these people. Like, like, go away. This is more of, like, a personal vendetta that was kind of, like, happening, like, especially at, for, shoot, what's Gentoku's rider name?
Rogue,
yeah. Especially for, like, Rogue's motivation. It's a lot more personal than you would think. Or a lot more personal comparatively to, like, Build and stuff, where he's just kind of, like, fighting for, like, the generic good. And I know, like, he's supposed to be a politician fighting for, like, his people. But
he's fighting for his father's like approval in a sense.
Yeah, like
to try and make up for what he's done.
Like I know it's like
to his father.
Yeah, like I know it's kind of related to have like the people that he's supposed to be like representing as a politician to kind of like show up and give him support in this time.
Oh, is that supposed to be the parallel? I didn't even think of it that way.
But it just they've never been like ever relevant, so it just kind of feels like, oh well, I guess they have a cheerleading crowd now. I don't think that was really needed for this scene. It kind of like bogged it down because it's just like, oh yes, this is where I get my power from. It's like no, it's not. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I feel like they wanted to have the people who were in distress like cheering on the Kamen Rider, which would, I think it still makes sense, but I don't think that they needed to equate it to a power up of some kind.
No, but like that's one of those things where they're hitting beats for the sake of hitting beats, as opposed to just letting the story unfold like it has naturally.
This element to me feels like a remnant of the more episodic shows, because it feels like, oh, this would be the time where all the helpless person of the weeks come in and
throw rocks at the
has decided to latch onto my voice, and it's trying to. Oh, it's searching for what I have just said. Why? Okay, Google. No, wait. No. Alright. Cool. So, I feel like it's a remnant of, like, you know, oh, hey, all the helpless people of the week sort of show up at the end to go, oh, you can do it, Kamen Rider, and then he beats up the villain. Yeah.
Well, he still died.
Yeah. No. What do you guys feel? Or no? How do you guys feel about Gentoku taking on Evolt? Because I felt it was. I was trying to get into the moment, but
there's so much stupid happening at the same time.
That and like, it just wouldn't happen. And also the speed with which Evolt blew up the like invisible people planet, you'd think that Earth would just be gone.
No, he's not a full power yet. Oh wait, he is.
Yeah.
Like I think the thing that really ruined that scene for me was that Banjo and Sento were just laying on the ground doing nothing because they couldn't. Because we needed Gentoku to make the sacrifice because they have to hit that beat. And then they were just kind of... It didn't feel natural. Like, why would they just be on the ground? Like, come on, like, get up and fight.
You can help, you know?
Like,
they tried to explain it away when they did finally transform, because they were like, we're...
No, that happens every time they transform for the second time, though.
Yeah. To me, that was reminiscent of when Mach got that upgrade form that downgraded him into the regular drive powers. It was the wheel, and then like he maxed it out, and it was like the broken wheel. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they broke past it, but like, Yeah.
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 Still doesn't excuse what happened in this episode, I feel. So.
Yeah. But again, I've said it once, and I'll say it again. Build's built enough goodwill for me. If this ends up tanking, if the finale ends up tanking, we still had a really good series. And
what do you mean the finale ends up tanking? It is still tanking right now.
Well, last episode... No.
I can't call it tanking. I can't call it tanking.
Can you call it tanking?
No.
No, because Banjo took care of that as well.
He did.
How about rabbit tanking?
Okay, it might be rabbit tanking. In the last episode, it might rabbit tank. Because the preview showed it, but...
I don't know what you're referring to.
his final form is gold and silver, but like the rabbit tank kind of.
No, that's Rabbit Dragon.
Shut up, dude. I don't.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why'd you spoil it for us? Shut up. Go away.
Y'all are not
We're
paying
done
attention.
with this.
But yeah. No, like I feel like it's only this episode. They gave us I feel like they gave us an emotional penultimate episode last time, and then this one was like cleaning things up or getting all the pawns in place for the finale. And then finale done. Maybe. I don't know. And then we get an epilogue in Geo.
I'm just trying to think how else could they have tried to make a moment, a lasting moment to some degree for Gentoku's death.
Oh, easy. So all you gotta do is cut out some of the filler in the 40s and then give more room for it.
Yeah, but you're at the same time to have them de-henshined so that you can see their face for the emotional draw. It's not going to work as well if they're both henshin still. That's why they had to be de-henshined. Do it with the framing of last episode. Have him and Cyborg Buddy team up, and that would be their final battle. But then what would be happening to the other two? Where would they be?
The other two? Oh, they'd be running up the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did
they'd
Gentoku
have to move
get there
on
first?
to the next? Huh?
Because Gentoku
not there.
has the fast
No.
on.
He's fighting. He'd be fighting the Hell Brothers, and then Evolt shows up like he did already.
Okay, and then instead of him running, that's where he dies.
Yeah. I mean, you miss some of the emotional weight of him being frustrated that
you entirely miss everyone else grieving about Greece.
No, because they could still run past. I don't know. Like, there's still a way to frame it. Is what I'm saying. Because like we don't have as much time as they did. So, I feel like there's still a way to frame it properly because there could be enough time for other deaths. You could even have them die earlier. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Gentoku probably should have died a lot earlier, but his father probably died way too late for that to happen.
You know what? Now that I think about it, it's the fact that they sort of like half leaned into it this episode. They weren't like fully there like, hey, feel this emotion. Go. They went like, oh, feel this emotion, kinda. They were like
by the way,
pushing it.
Also sacrificing himself.
Yeah. So like, weigh your options here. I don't know. It just, I feel like it could have been handled a bit more gracefully.
That's true, but I'm still gonna cut them a lot of slack on it, just because it doesn't seem like it would have been an easy thing where they were.
No, I get it.
Sometimes you write yourself into a corner, and you just got to do the best you can with what you have.
I get it. No, I get it, but like, I'm with them. I'm still for this writing staff and this team. I'm just saying that for me, this episode didn't hit well. Like, the emotions weren't hit properly.
Isn't that ironic? Because that was the goal of the entire episode.
What?
To hit certain beats, and that was the one thing it didn't.
I don't know what you're
We were expecting it, that's the thing.
Yeah, that too. But, like, I don't know. Well,
I kind of wish that they didn't show him disappearing in the preview.
Yeah, but it's Kamen Rider, so I don't really know what else to say here. So
Neither do I.
Yeah. But if you guys want more build content, come back to us next week.
Come back to us.
Because next week is going to be Toku Week 3. We're going to be bringing you Toku content every single day next week, starting with our review and watch along for the regular episode of Build, the final episode of Build. Then we're going to go through the Hyper Battle DVD, Raising the Hazard Level, and the 2 Rogue side stories, as well as our full series review. At least what we have so far, because we haven't seen the movie. No one has. Yeah, that just about covers it. And this week we're going to be releasing the rest of Kamen Rider Amazons. So guys, feel free to ignore that as you have been normally. Guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
See ya.
Later.
Whew. We're not done for the week yet. Oh, we still have to record so many things. Gotta raise that hazard level. Gotta hyper battle the DVD.